Biafran people, home and abroad, I greet all of you. Biafra is one, and we are together, and together is one. And in together, in unity, with strength and mutual understanding, we shall put our enemies back on the ground. The enemies of Biafrans shall suffer backlash without exception. Therefore, I want to talk to you, Biafrans, wherever you are listening to me, that the fight for Biafra nation will not stop. You can ask me why. You ask me why Biafra war with Nigeria is going to repeat itself for the second time. And this time, there will be no looking back. This time, the way I'm looking at the whole thing, it is fight to finish. Because Nigeria and Nigeria government does not value Biafrans, nor value anybody from Igbo land. And because they refuse to probe their conscience, we are going to remind them the past. We are going to remind them 1967, 1970. We are going to remind them that it is not only them that knows how to divide and rule. We are going to remind them that today Nigeria is standing alone. No country is with Nigeria because Nigeria is a terroristic country. Let me tell you 3 cardinal points why Biafra fight will continue until Biafra becomes completely free from Nigeria contraption. Number 1 is this. We cannot fold our hands and watch the indomitable leader of Biafra nation, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to die like a chicken the way the detractors plan it to be. We cannot watch it happen. That is number 1. If we allow it to happen, it makes us cowards. This is the truth. Number 2, we will not allow Mazi Simon Ekpa to be harmed by any means or any form. We cannot allow what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to happen to Simon Ekpa. Get my point correct. Yes, they have taken place. The solution now is to fight those who have decided to confiscate our freedom and peace and unity and progress, our longevity and prosperity. They confiscated it and impoverished us. And many of our youths today are no more in Southeast, are no more in Biafra land, and the majority of the youths from Imo State today are languishing in the prison by the hands of Nigerian military terrorists, the police, DSS activities. Are you getting the point 2? Then point 3 is that we cannot afford to overlook our ancestral land for foreign invaders to take over it. We are going to fight with the last breath in our nostrils to make sure that even if we are not alive, that our ancestral land is retrieved and returned and remain for our children and our children's children. And that will make us useful for our generation. How many years you lived on earth and died does not make sense. What makes sense is how many things you achieved, your legacy, your absence still speaking expressively as if you are there alive. That's what makes you important. Be a legend, be a star. Fear not. Don't fear death, because whether you fight or you did not fight, death must come somehow, someday. And the fourth point that must be very clear to you this moment, as you are listening to me, why Biafra war with Nigeria for the second time will trigger off any moment from now is because terrorists have taken over Nigeria government. Tinubu is a terrorist. It's not a hidden thing. It's confirmed by the whole world that Tinubu is a terrorist and he's running terrorism government, banditry government. He sponsors them. He takes care of terrorists, dehumanize innocent Nigerian citizens. See them on the social media demonstrating and protesting against hunger. So how can hunger stop? Meanwhile, Tinubu have mortgaged you with the terrorists, making sure that terrorists make life unbearable for you, unleashing terror on you people on daily basis, forbidding you from going to school and from going to your farmland. So how can you get what you eat? Many Nigerians are dying today out of starvation. And after all, they will call on Americans to come and help them. That Nigeria is poor. Nigerians are dying of hunger. All these are lies. They are using Islamic religion to render people useless, make life miserable and unbearable for the innocent citizens of Nigeria and Biafra land. And for this reason, I am telling you that it is no longer going to be condoned, since the previous time the Biafrans leaders who have been there are not ready to fight for their right, are not ready to fight for the right of the citizens. So what they know is from their hand to their pocket, from their pocket to their mouth, with their wives and their children. And that is Southeast politicians for you. So we, the soldiers of this 21st century, are not going to condone that. We are going to make sure that the Fulani invaders did not encroach Biafra land to kill people, to destroy lives and properties, because this is their primary objective, which Tinubu is helping them to achieve. But we say it will not work. Now, terrorists are using drones to bombard military barracks, and General Christopher Musa, the Chief Defense Minister, the Chief Defense Staff of Nigeria, have the impudence to come on the television channels to defend the terrorists and the bandits from the northern part of Nigeria. So for this reason, I think we stand a better chance to have our ancestral land occupied by declaring the restoration of Biafra sovereign state. So, for your information, nothing happens for nothing. We are not fighting for nothing. We are not fighting in vain. We are fighting purposely for what to belong to us. And anybody can say whatever he or she likes. We are going to use whatever that we have in our disposition, in our disposal to fight and to make sure that the death that killed others in Nigeria did not affect Biafra land. Even as I'm talking with you, this moment, I can bet you and tell you that many people died in Anambra State. Many people died in Imo State this Christmas. Many people died in Enugu State. Many people died in Abia State. All right? Many people died in Ebonyi State. It's not that they die a natural death. These are the handworks of Tinubu and Igbo politicians. We are fighting for freedom. We are fighting for the salvation of human soul. We are fighting to save people's life. That is what we are doing. We are not terrorists. We are not bandits. We are not criminals. We also will fight for northern people who are innocent of terrorism. We fight for Yorubas who cannot help themselves out of the menace that Tinubu and Buhari have brought upon Nigeria. We fight also for the Middle Belt. We fight for Biafrans in general. We hate no one. We don't hate anybody. But we hate terrorists and bandits. We don't need them in our land, and we don't need them as friends. We don't need them as neighbors. We don't need them as whatever you can feel in your heart. They are not useful properties to us. And for this reason, we have decided that whatever it will take us, we shall sanitize our bushes and forests and make sure that our expresses, our roads, our highways are clear and clean from every mess of terrorist checkpoints in military uniform, police, and DSS. And what I'm telling you now, I don't need to give you a date because we have already started. You will only be hearing the result and the news of what is going on in Biafra land and Southeast for the delegitimization of anything that has to do with Nigeria office, Nigeria uniform, Nigeria ID card. Anything that has to do with the Nigeria government must be delegitimized any moment from now. We cannot overlook all this mess and begin to chat and talk a different thing, digressing opinions. Meanwhile, we are here for business. Somebody somewhere may not like what I'm saying, and somebody somewhere may like what I'm saying, but what I'm telling you is that you should be security conscious wherever you are, because any moment from now is going to sound higher than it is. It's going to sound higher than it was before, because we are not happy and we are boiling on our inside about the confiscation or the hostage that Nigeria government is holding our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu hostage, and Finland is holding our prime minister hostage. So we are not happy over it. They left us with no choice than to take our destinies into our hands, to fight for their release, to fight for their freedom, and to fight for the freedom of the less privileged in Biafra land. Thank you.